Shalom, welcome to another video, and as always, before I get started, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachwadash, and next double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of what people hear or what they forbear. Alright, so this is going to be alright, I'm gonna show y'all something, man. Okay. I'm gonna show y'all something. So the title of this video is gonna be "The World is Waking Up to the Truth About E." Okay, when I say E, I'm talking about Esau. I just don't want to put in the title because don't want to flag the video. Okay, but the world is waking up to the truth about E. Alright, I woke up this morning, tired, had a long week already. And I went on Threads. Sometimes when I get up in the morning, I just feel like scrolling. So went on Threads, and I saw multiple posts of people berating the 1948ers and the West as a whole. Okay, which, July 4th just passed. Today's July 5th. July 4th is supposed to be a day for American pride and patriotism, etc., etc. And people ain't feeling it, man. Okay, and the first thing that came to my mind is I never thought I'd see the day. It's just a saying, but I never thought I'd see the day that that prophecy would come to pass. It tells you in the scriptures that the Lord would make Esau greatly despised. Okay, and that's exactly what's happening. I'm going to show you those threads that I found. Okay, and let you. I'm gonna read some of the comments to you so you can see what I'm talking about. But first, let me bring out this precept. All right, out of the book of Obadiah, the first chapter. All right, it's only one chapter, but it says Edom will be humbled. Okay, that's the title. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Yahweh concerning Edom: We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. And here's the one: Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen; thou art greatly despised. Okay, so Esau, all right, and the Edomites are the 1948ers. They're the head tribe of the Edomites. When I say that, I'm talking about the You Wish people. Okay, You Wish. All right, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, they are the chief tribe of the Edomites, Amalek, and then you have your regular Edomites over here in America, so-called white Americans. Okay, and the other Europeans, they're Edomites as well. But it says, I have made thee small among the heathen; thou art greatly despised. And people are losing their minds. It's hilarious. So what I'm going to do, okay, I got these screenshots. Now, this is the first one. This is the second one. Okay. So I'm gonna go and search it up so you can see the comments on these. But this one is talking about the H to the alo to the cost. All right. And ironically, you see it has 777 likes. When I saw it, I said, this is Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai's work. Okay, it's hilarious. It's really funny. Now, every comment was berating them. Let me go ahead and go. Let me go ahead and go to that app, the Threads app. Okay. And yeah, this app is toxic as hell, but it's funny. Let's see. I'm gonna search that page up. Mama. Let's just say Mama F62. Yeah, I'm gonna search that page up. There we go. Okay. See if I can find that post. Boom, here it is. Up now, it's got 804. 17 hours ago, they said if a You Wish person asks you politely not to use certain terms as analogies as it dehumanizes our history, don't fight with us, respect the request, and stop. All right, now look what people are saying. The first person, Gior Becca Jones. You don't get to gatekeep the H. You're not the only people to experience the G or concentration camps. You weren't even the only people who were murdered at Osh. All right, you keep reading. More comments. That feeling you feel when people compare the Gaza H to the WW2H, that's not a grievance for dehumanizing your history. It's a guilt. Israel is committing a H among the Palestinian people. If it makes you uncomfortable, maybe you should stop being silent about it and speak up. And man, every comment is just every comment, bro. They're going in on these people. As a you-ish person, you don't speak for me. It truly astounds me how, as a you fail to see the correlations between MAGA scapegoating immigrants for today's issues and how the ends scapegoated the J-ish people, LGBT and other minorities in the 1930s. The concentration camp refers to a harsh prison to persecute political prisoners, targeted minorities, etc., etc. All right, but every comment, okay, every comment is pretty much telling them, you guys can go F yourself. As a person of indigenous heritage, please stop going on, and how your people, the J-ish people, have suffered. We've all suffered. 55 million indigenous tribal members died as a result of colonization of the United States, not to mention entire tribes. Most of our culture wiped out. You don't hear us constantly whining about it. Maybe instead of crying about something that happened 80 years ago, you should be all in on stopping the next persecution before it turns catastrophic. Fire. Because that's exactly what they say to us. They say that's exactly what they say to us. Slavery was a long time ago. Everybody's equal now. Jim Crow, that was a long time ago. Get over it. Get over it. Get over it. Get over it. That's exactly what they say to the so-called Negroes and indigenous, the actual Israelites of the Bible. That's exactly what they say to us. So, in other words, in history, the world has always championed and trophied so-called white suffering. When white people caught hell, it was a world catastrophe. Okay, but how many genocides? Fuck it, I just used the word. Let's keep it 100. Okay, how many mass deletions, all right, have been perpetuated at the hands of Edomites, and nobody bats an eye. Okay, nobody bats an eye. I mean, but I don't know how many people supposedly got deleted in the H. I don't know the number, but I know 110% for a fact that there's been many more other nations of people, specifically Jake, that have been deleted in much larger numbers, have been tortured for much longer periods of time. Nobody bats an eye. It's all, like I said, it's always a long time ago. Get over it. Doesn't matter. But now that same energy that they push out is being put on them, and it's hilarious. And this is prophecy, man. This is prophecy. As we let's go back. All right. Obadiah 1 and 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. It's the same thing in Jeremiah 49. Let's get that one as well. All right. Sometimes we go into prophecy. It doesn't always have to be like breaking down a full chapter. There's certain points that we see, but this is a part of it. Okay. This is a part of the prophecy. All right. Is that the nations would begin to hate Esau. Okay. This is Jeremiah 49 and 15. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. He said he would do it. We're seeing it live in action. Okay. The Edomites are small among the heathen. They're now becoming, which they've really been the worldwide minority. I think I read somewhere that they're only 7% of the world's population at this point. All right. But for the last, pretty much since America's inception, all right, the nations were in fear of Esau, and they looked at him as the creme de la creme. So-called white supremacy permeated the facet of every society's daily life for the past few hundred years. Okay, and now the Lord is pulling off that covering cast. He's pulling off that illusion. Okay, and people are starting to look at them and see them for what they really are. Verse 16, thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Okay, and these are key clues to who it's talking about. Okay, the pride of thine heart. Esau is by far the most proud nation on the earth. That dwellest in the clefts of the rock. They're known of as the cave people. That holdest the height of the hill, meaning that they're at the top. They got the rulership worldwide. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle. All right, who is represented by the eagle? All right, every modern day, every Edomite stronghold for the past 2,000 years, starting off with the Greeks, the ancient Roman Empire, and now today America. He says, though thou shalt make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. Okay, and this is the beginning of it. The empire falling. Okay, because the people that live in this world are now starting to see them for what they really are. All right. So all these comments, hundreds of them, hundreds of them. There's not one comment supporting them. I think, let me see. It says at the bottom, the author has limited who can reply, because 782 comments, and I scrolled down through a bunch of them. Not one comment supporting them. Look at this guy, Obi-Wan Pierogi. He says, "Eat fucking shit. Stop crying about your small offenses and start openly crying out against fucking genocide your nation is enacting. And then, maybe we will bow to your small inconveniences. Boo. Fuck off." Oh my goodness. Another person said, "Black and blue. Fuck off. I've had white people whitewashing the racism I've experienced my whole fucking life. Apparently, it all happened so long ago that it doesn't affect me. Same applies to the big A." Man. Bro, people are going in. Every comment. Yep. Yeah, and really they're the ones causing it. Okay, because what they're doing to the Ishmaelites, which we understand why that's happening prophetically, but that's one that I wanted to show you guys. Let's look at another one. Okay, this one is from House of Jupiter. Let's go there. So I wake up in the morning, every now and again I just feel like scrolling, and I came across these posts and I said, oh man, I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick video on them, because I just thought it was, like I said, I thought to myself, this is prophecy right here, man. Esau becoming greatly despised. Okay, let's click on this guy's page. House of Jupiter. Let's see. 23 hours ago. Let's look at the post. Okay, look at this. 2,800 likes, 165 comments. It says, "Gaza changed how I view humanity. I don't think I will ever go back to the way I used to be. Fundamentally altered forever." Okay, and you got a couple dickheads in the comments, like this one. All right, the first comment: "Tell the Gazans it's not cool to grape." All right, and you of course Esau gonna be Esau, man. So you have a lot of Edomites that are still trying to play the victim card. October 7th, which that was 99% chance that was orchestrated by the Israelis themselves to justify them going into the Gaza Strip and doing what they're doing right now. All right, but this person said, "Gaza has changed how I view white people's sense of humanity and morality," which, if you look at history, so-called white people, which are really Edomites in the Bible, not every so-called white person, but a good chunk of them, all right, they've never had a sense of humanity and morality. Okay, they've been, over the past 500 years, and really even before that, I'm just using modern day history, all right, since their rebirth, okay, since the dragon has been rebirthed, all right, they have been responsible for the most bloodshed on the earth by far. They are the heavyweight champion of bloodshed, but it was a veil over the nations so that they could not see it. Okay, but now the Lord is removing that veil. Let's get the precept on that. All right, Isaiah 25:7. This is all prophetic. All right, it says, "And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations." And the mountain is representative of government. So right now we're in the throne of iniquity. We're ruled over by the wicked, pursuing to Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay, so that covering cast has been over all the people's minds. Now, okay, the Lord, as it says, he said, "I'm removing the veil that is spread over all nations." Now the world is looking, and they're like I said, this guy said, this has changed how I view white people's sense of humanity and morality. They've never had one. It's been an illusion the whole time. We're going to keep reading the comments. People are going to say that. All right. So let's see what else somebody put up. Look, somebody said, "Gaza has completely changed how I view the West." There's one comment where somebody said, "I no longer see the United States, the UK, and Israel as the good guys." Person said, funny, I don't think I'll ever go back to the way I used to be either, but the thing that fundamentally altered my view of humanity was the jubilation on the one hand and collective shrug on the other in response to the barbaric atrocities of October 7th. I don't know exactly what they mean by that. So you got, like I said, you got Edomites on the comment board that are coming in saying, "Oh, look at what Hamas did." And like I said, man, and it's actually, if I can remember, if my memory serves me correct, I actually did a video back then when that happened. Okay, a long time ago. It wasn't that long ago, but a year plus. And I do so many videos, even in a month, that a year away is a long time. So I don't know if I can find it, but I have a video somewhere on my channel proving that Hamas was actually started and funded by the Israeli government to try to destabilize the Palestinian government, because they've been planning on taking that land over for fucking decades. All right, if you Google, I don't know exactly how to find it, but if you do the research, you'll find that every couple of years the Palestinian portion of the land gets smaller and the Israeli portion of the land gets bigger. And I got a video on my channel where Bibi, all right, Satan Yahoo, he said that if he gets elected, there will be no more Palestinian state. He said that over 10 years ago. I got a video on my channel. So they planned this, and all they needed was a scapegoat. So that's what October 7th was. Like I said, there's no documentation on that, but like when I say there's no documentation, I mean that they're not going to admit to that. But if anybody who has spiritual eyes to see can puzzle the pieces together and see that that's exactly what's going on. All right, but let me see. Somebody said, and that's important because you will see Western governments and corporate media try to rehabilitate Israel's image in the West to what it used to be before the big G. The people know better now, right? Exactly. The people know better now. All right, the veil is being lifted. Let me go back to that original screenshot. Okay, this is the one you can see it right here. Rosemary Walsh said, "I'll never think of U.S., Britain, Israel as the good guys ever again." Now look at what this person said. Jungle Earth, this comment down on the bottom. They said, "I learned the truth about the USA when I was 20 years old in the 80s and hitchhiking through Mexico and Guatemala. Death squads funded and trained by the CIA, Mayan villages completely destroyed, and all the inhabitants murdered by the U.S.-funded Guatemalan military, people terrified to talk to you or look you in the eye, civil patrols. It was a real eye-opener for me in the same way I guess that Gaza is an eye-opener for people now." And this is stuff that's not taught. Okay, I did another video just recently, like in the past 2 months, showing you that these so-called Latin American countries, okay, from Mexico all the way down to Chile, all right, they pretty much every single last one of them has had a coup. And if you don't know what a coup is, a coup d'etat, all right, it's a French word. It means, I'll just look it up, I'll show you. Okay, a coup d'etat, let's see. It says, a sudden, violent, unlawful seizure of power from a government, a coup. Okay, so every Latin American country has had a coup that the United States funded. All right, almost every single one, and destabilized and destroyed their country. Almost every single one. So when you talk about the poverty and the corruption in Central and South America and in Mexico, all right, it is a direct result of what the United States government has done to those nations. Okay, and this I'm not making this up. This is documented facts. I did a video on it. All right, and they call it different. They have different operation names where they went in and they destroyed governments, destabilized economies, and caused civil war unnecessarily all over Central and South America. All right, and they did the same thing in Africa, same thing in Asia. Most of the countries around the world that are poor, they're not poor because the governments and the people are stupid. A lot of them had democratically elected governments where they elected the right guy to run their country. And once again, the United States, they saw some kind of natural resource that they wanted over there, and they went in, they destabilized it, and set up their own government, all right, so that they could go in and take the resources from the land. And as long as that government that they set up played ball, then they would make sure that those people were very rich. So in other words, you had people that sold out their own people. But who is the source of it? Once again, the Western governments. They're the ones who set all that up. All right, so people are starting to wake up to the nonsense, man. Okay, I said, I see. This should be history that's taught, but it's not. Okay, no, most people have no clue. I didn't have any before reading this comment, and like I said, I didn't research it and beyond, but I don't doubt it because I know for a fact that the U.S. does stuff like that. Because like I said, I did a video on myself. I did a video of my own, and this is all documented history. Because what they do is that they'll do these things and then they'll put it out like 20, 30, 40, 50 years later that they did these things. All right, but at the time, nobody knows what's happening. That's the reason why. Let's get a precept, man. That's the reason why the scriptures say. All right, this is Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." Okay, never trust the Edomites, man. If you, especially if you're Jake, never trust Esau. Okay, like look at they had something a lot of people don't know called the Tuskegee experiments. They told so-called black Americans that they were going to give them free health care and all that kind of stuff. They just had to run some tests, and all that they did was purposefully infect a large portion of the black community in the South with syphilis. All right, this is what they do. This is what they do. And at the time, this is back in the 70s. At the time, all right, they didn't say what they were doing. They didn't say, "Hey, we're just going to give you syphilis and see how it affects your body." Okay, they didn't say that. They just did it, and then they put it out, for the mainstream to find 20 to 30 years later after it happened. So that's how Esau gets down, man. It's the same thing with the 1-9. Okay, it's the same thing, man. So you Jake's got to wisen the hell up. And that's the reason why these scriptures are so important, because when you understand prophecy, never trust your enemy. These devils are not to be trusted, man. And now the world is starting to see it for themselves. Let's get a few more comments. I'm going to bring out some precepts and we'll close it out. All right. Let's see. Yeah, see, people are... Oh, man. Oh my gosh. This person said, Shutter View said, "Unfortunately, the human race is and has always been a cancer on the planet. Me and my wife decided to never have children for this very reason over a decade ago, and we are not alone. Many others like us out there." And no, don't say the human race. Call it what it is. The Edomites. They're the ones. And so let's call it out for what it is. It ain't so-called black people sitting in laboratories creating diseases. All right, figuring out how they can try to merge man with machine. It's not us that's doing these things. It's the same people. It's the Edomites, the same ones who've been destroying whole populations of people for thousands of years. It ain't so. No, don't say the human race. Say it for who it is. It really ain't no such thing as human race. You have different nationalities of people on different seed lines on the earth. You had 18 nations. Okay, you got the sons of God, which is Jacob. All right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians primarily, and then, the different Israelites scattered amongst the nations that look like the different nations. Then you have the sons of the heathen, all right, which are the other 16 nations: Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, etc., etc. And then you have the sons of the wicked, which are the Edomites, the so-called white man, and their seed line is scattered too. You have black Edomites, all right. The primary majority of them are so-called Caucasian. All right, but those are the three classifications of men, and you have two main characters: the sons of God and the sons of the wicked. Okay, Jacob and Esau. That's what this whole movie is all about. And though the Edomites, they're the ones that are bringing in the destruction, because that's their role. But this person said humanity is horrible, civilization, especially Western, non-existent. All right, this person said, this is the comment I saw earlier. All right, look at the sentiments here. Okay, Rosemary Walsh said, "I'll never think of U.S., Britain, Israel as the good guys ever again." All right, because they're not, never have been. All right, the Edomites, and that's part of their mass deception. But the Lord he's changing that. He's covering. He's pulling everything up to the surface. All right. So this other person, Caroline, too, said, "To be honest, I'm horrified. I feel like everything I've ever been told about the world is a lie." Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Let's take a look at Caroline. Yeah, so-called Caucasian woman. Could be an Edomite. Who knows? All right, but yeah, this is it. Yep. Somebody said, me either. I hate my country and its involvement in these atrocities. I don't care that it's a holiday. It's all stolen and rotten. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get a few more precepts. We'll close it out. All right, let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 16. Actually, matter of fact, let's get this first. Let's get Habakkuk and we'll come right back. I got a precept I want to get, but let's get Habakkuk first. Habakkuk 2 and 16. All right, it says, Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. Okay, foreskin represents uncleanness. Okay, let your iniquity be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory. Okay, what is the cup of the Lord's right hand? All right, that's his indignation that's going to be brought on through Yahushua at his second coming. Let's get Isaiah 47. Okay, and this is a prophecy against Babylon the Great. This is Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. This is talking about America. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. All right, so once again, people looking at this place and seeing it for what it is. They're saying, I'm finally realizing the West is not the good guys. All right, it says, take the millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, and pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. This is talking about Yahushua. This is that cup of the Lord's right hand. Okay, thy nakedness, thy sin is being uncovered. Okay, the sins of Esau, Edom. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Okay, so when Yahushua comes, the first time he came as a sacrificial lamb, as a man, flesh and blood. This time he's come as an angelic force to bring major destruction to the Edomites. Okay, pursuant to Isaiah the 63rd chapter. All right, let's get this one as well. Nahum chapter 3 and verse 5. And it reads, it says, Behold, I am against thee, saith Yahweh, power of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. Okay, that's what's happening. He's against this place. He's against the Edomites. Verse 6, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and set thee as a gazing stock. That's what's happening. Okay, filth is going upon their glory. Okay, they were once, people looked up to them. People once looked up to the Edomites as the pinnacle of morality. Like that guy said on the comment on that threads, he said, I no longer see the humanity and morality of so-called white people. And there never really was any, but it was all an illusion. That's a part of their, their tricks. One of the schemes of the wicked is to be able to sway the masses' portrayal of things. But now, because the Spirit of the Lord is going throughout the four corners of the earth, the truth is being brought up, and their deception is not working anymore. All right, and that's prophetic. Let's get Isaiah chapter 11, and I'm going to start from the top of verse 1. It says, And in that day there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And Jesse was King David's father. Yahushua comes from that same lineage. And the Spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahweh, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yahweh. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. So he's literally destroying them with the spirit of his mouth as we speak. Okay, the spirit of his mouth is the prophets. All right, because all these things that are happening, we filter through biblical prophecy, and tell you that, hey, this is what the Lord is getting ready to do, and then you see it actually happen. Like I said, that's the first thing I thought about when I seen these threads. I said, this is prophecy right here. The Lord is making these things come to pass. They are becoming greatly despised. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. All right, and I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord, Yahushua, and by our gathering unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that day of Yahushua is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. And that happened, and that was 70 AD was the beginning of it. All right, but it continued on, and really was fully fulfilled here in Babylon the Great, because This is where the children of Israel lost their heritage, pursuing to Jeremiah 17:4. They went into a mighty captivity and discontinued from their heritage. All right, only to be woken up in the last days through the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It says, "And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition," talking about Esau, "who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." Okay, Yahweh. All right, so he set himself up as the Heavenly Father. All right, and he's done that by changing the names, the images, okay, making everything in his own likeness. All right, literally, going back to Serapis Christus. All right, setting up one of Ptolemies setting up their son as a deity. All right, that's Esau's MO. That's what he does. Caesar Bourgeois, that's the modern day prototype. Okay, of idols, of idol worship. So this is what Esau has done. All right, Salakia. 2 Thessalonians 2:5. "Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity does already work." The mystery of iniquity is who is the wicked that's ruling over the earth. All right, it's already at work. Apostle Paul was telling you it's been in place, even all the way back then, going back to the Roman Empire. Okay, because the Roman Empire was the empire of Esau. Even the fake JOOs know that. "Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way." All right, verse 8. Here's the point. "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." Okay, and that's what's happening right now. So he's being revealed through the spirit of the Lord's mouth. That's prophetic. He's been revealed for who he is, the devil the Bible speaks of. All right, and then Yahushua is going to come and finish the job with physical destruction. All right, let's get this last set of precepts and we'll close it out there. I'll go to Isaiah 25:7, and to read on down. It says, "And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations." That's what's happening right now. And let's get a precept on that. Let me add to this. Jeremiah 16:19. It says, "O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction." The Gentiles, and it's really talking about Israelite foreigners, but you can say even heathen nations are waking up to the fact of that Esau is the devil the Bible speaks of. "The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit." Okay, and that's what's happening. All right, the world is saying, like that woman said on that comment board. All right, it's gone now. It's okay, but she said, "I'm starting to realize that everything I thought about the world is a lie." Okay, this is once again, man, prophecy. Prophecy is undefeatable. All right, it says once again, he's going to destroy the veil that is spread over all nations. Verse 8, "He will swallow up death in victory. Yahweh will wipe away tears from off all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away from off all the earth, for Yahweh has spoken it. And it shall be said in that day, Lo, this is our God. We have waited for him. He will save us. This is Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. We have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation." Okay, and that is going to be the end result of this. So this is why these things are happening, because he's getting ready to destroy their kingdom and free us from this final captivity, Babylon the Great. And we're never going to be under the hands of Esau, Edom ever again. All right, pursuing to Isaiah 10:20, I believe, where it talks about the remnant returning. Okay, so anyways, that's it. I'm going to close it out there. Heavenly Father's will, it was edifying. As always, I'm going to give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachash. And until next time, Shalom, and abide b'ball.